Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. We are so excited to see you today for this momentous occasion. Welcome to Frontier Nursing University. I am Bobby Silver. I am the Chief Advancement Officer here, and I am very excited to celebrate Dr. Brooke A. Flinders in her presidential investiture with you today. My role today is to really help to keep this program running smoothly. So you might see me moving around just a little bit to ensure everything is on time. And I just wanted to point out a few details for you. If you need a restroom, there are signs in front of each of the buildings where those are available. And also, we have provided a little gift of our appreciation to you in your chairs. We're very grateful that you are here to celebrate with us today. But before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to thank the many hands that went into preparing this event. From planning and preparation to logistics, campus operations, and every detail in between, this day reflects the dedication of so many. And the members of our Frontier Nursing University community are truly amazing. And we are all deeply grateful for all of the work that has been provided from many facets across our university to bring us to today. Following the investiture, we invite you to join us to a reception that we are hosting in the tent that is right behind us. Our dining team has provided some amazing refreshments for you to enjoy. Thank you so much for being here. Your presence makes this day even more meaningful for Dr. Flinders and for all of us at Frontier.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Kristen Ashford, Dean of Nursing at Frontier Nursing University, and I'm honored to welcome you here to the investiture of Dr. Brooke A. Flinders. A university's president investiture is a ceremony that formally marks the beginning of a new president. It symbolizes the president's acceptance, the responsibility of the office. Since being named Frontier's president a year ago, Dr. Flinders has eagerly and effectively taken on the responsibilities so graciously bequeathed to her by her past president and Frontier Hall of Famer, Dr. Susan Stone. Welcome, Dr. Stone. And thank you so much for being here today and your incredible 23 years of service as Frontier Nursing's president. Following in the footsteps of a Hall of Famer is no easy task, but is one that Dr. Flinders has fully embraced. She believes wholeheartedly in Frontier's mission, which is to provide high-quality education to prepare nurses to become competent, entrepreneurial, ethical, and compassionate nurse-midwives and nurse practitioners, to work with all people with an emphasis on rural and underserved communities. It is a mission that Dr. Flinders knows well as a two-time graduate of Frontier, where she earned her Master's of Science in Nursing and Doctor of Nursing Practice degrees. Dr. Flinders obtained her Bachelor of Science in Nursing from Miami University. As a healthcare provider, Dr. Flinders has worked as a registered nurse and a full-scope certified nurse midwife. As an educator, she has held many roles at Miami University, including 20 years as a professor of nursing. In an administrative role, Dr. Flinders has held the position as Associate Dean of Academic Affairs at Miami's College of Liberal Arts and Applied Science, served as Miami's Chair of the Department of Nursing, and held the position as Associate Provost of Faculty Affairs. Her outstanding credentials, her passion, her vision, and her belief in the university and its people made her the perfect candidate for the position of President of Frontier Nursing University. Dr. Flinders' exemplary track record of visionary academic leadership, her compassionate nature, and her alignment with FNU's mission drew me to Frontier. And the icing on the cake is she has a fabulous sense of humor. For all these reasons, it is my distinct honor to introduce Frontier Nursing's University President, Dr. Brooke A. Flinders.
Before I begin, I want to ask my elders forgiveness for speaking before them, as well as the elders and descendants of this territory. Gwe, Ak, Epchalida, Delawisi, Venus Evans, and El Nu Ak Walastigui, Wedabexi, Maine, Ak Canada, Walalio, Waldasi. Hello and welcome. My name is Venus Evans. I am Mi'kmaq and Maliseet. My ancestral roots are in Maine and Canada. Thank you for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here. I am a tribal citizen of the Mi'kmaq Nation from Presque Isle, Maine, and the Atlantic provinces of Canada. The Mi'kmaq Nation is one of 4 federally recognized tribal nations in Maine. Collectively, we are known as Wabanagi, people of the Dawnland. My great-grandfather, Andrew Phillips, was Mi'kmaq from the Bear River First Nation in Bear River, Nova Scotia. My great-grandmother, Cecilia DeVoe, was Maliseet from the Woodstock First Nation in New Brunswick, Canada. Their daughter, my grandmother, Ida, came to Kentucky in the 1950s. And it's here in this Commonwealth, among the Appalachian Mountains, is where she raised my mother, Donna, and my Aunt Gladys. And here is where I was born and raised. I speak my ancestors' names whenever I have an opportunity to speak, and in doing so, I bring honor and awareness to their existence and to the existence of my people, as well as highlighting the 91,000 plus Native Americans living within the Commonwealth today, a number which is supported by the 2020 census. Though I do not have ancestral tribal ties to this land, I am proud to call Kentucky my home, and I'm proud to honor it. For when we honor the land and our relationship to it, we then realize our interrelation with it and with each other. So it is with great honor I have been asked to present today's land acknowledgement on behalf of Frontier Nursing. The FNU campus is the traditional territory of the Shawnee and Cherokee people. Frontier Nursing University wants to acknowledge that Versailles, Kentucky is a traditional territory of the Shawnee and Cherokee people. Frontier Nursing University acknowledges this legacy and finds inspiration from this land. We honor the land in itself and those who remain stewards of this land throughout the generations. Territory or land acknowledgement is our way of recognizing the Indigenous presence in our everyday life. I would like to take this opportunity to issue a call to action as a reminder to make land acknowledgements more than just checking a box. Some ways in which this can be accomplished are prioritize research that addresses Indigenous health inequities, conducted in respectful and community-guided ways. Ensure that Indigenous scholars are leading or co-leading projects. Share research outcomes with relevant communities. Build internal capacity for Indigenous health research and data. In closing, I would like to say, Don Delagwin, me Najiksagawida, Ak Den Don Delawogan. Your actions speak louder than words. Walalio, Ak Namotaksip. Thank you and see you soon.
Good afternoon. My name is Peter Schwartz. I'm an obstetrician gynecologist, and I've been a member of the board for the past 11 years. It's indeed a great privilege for me to be asked to speak about my special friend, Michael Carter. Michael was keenly invested in the success of this organization, both as a longtime leader of the Frontier Nursing University Board and as a very generous donor. His great passion for Frontier was exhibited in many ways throughout his service to us. And he was particularly excited for Frontier to host this very first presidential investiture for Dr. Flinders. Michael took great pride in his responsibility as board chair to calmly and successfully celebrate the retirement of Dr. Susan Stone, and in conducting the search that has resulted in the naming of Dr. Flinders as our new president. He was looking forward with great anticipation and joy to this investiture. He was so excited for this moment, this first moment in Frontier's history. Sadly, as I think probably all of you know, Michael passed away June 17th of this year, before he could experience this culmination of a momentous transition in leadership. It is for this reason that we dedicate this event to Michael Carter, and I regard my choice to honor his memory as an enormous privilege. How many of you knew Dr. Michael Carter? Please raise your hands. I feel some sorrow for the rest of you, but I'll try to give you an idea of the man so that you might be able to say that you knew him a little. There are those who knew him much longer than I did, who had many more interactions than I did, who had many more important interactions than I, but probably very few that appreciated him and loved him more than I. Michael Carter, never Mike, was born on February 13th, 1947. He earned his BSN in 1969 and his master's in 1973 from the University of Arkansas. After serving in the Army Nurse Corps during the Vietnam War, he earned his doctorate from Boston University in 1979 and eventually another doctorate in nursing practice from the University of Tennessee in 2009. He also completed a fellowship in primary care health policy. He was very well educated, and he was a very widely respected family and geriatric nurse practitioner. Michael has been associated with our university since 2003, when he became a member of the Frontier Nursing Service Board of Governors, and he served as chair of the Board of Directors of Frontier Nursing University from 2009 until April 2025, when he recognized the inevitable outcome of his illness and insisted on activating his succession planning. Michael was an immensely successful leader of this university. He was consistently appended to Susan Stone, and they, together with Michael Steinmetz, took us out of a very precarious economic situation. They expanded our educational offerings from one certificate program to 7 different degrees, and almost trebled our size of the student body from around 1,200 in 2010 to almost 3,000 in 2024. And they transported us to this awesome site that we are now living in. They did it all the while maintaining great excellence in academia. Our board scores have always been well above the national average. All of this we owe to the visionary leadership of Dr. Michael Carter. And although I will always consider him as ours, he seemed to successfully lead wherever he went. For his accomplishments, he has been recognized among many other awards as a fellow of the American Academy of Nursing, received the Distinguished Alumni Award from the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences, was an Outstanding Alumnus Award from the University of Tennessee, at which he was Dean of the School of Nursing from 1982 to 2000. He received the Lifetime Achievement Award from the National Organization of Nurse Practitioner Faculties. And most recently, we have very gratefully awarded Dr. Michael Carter the Frontier Nursing University Lifetime Service Award. However, extolling his incomparable achievements as leader of this university over 20 years plus is not the reason why I feel sad that some of you don't frontier nursing. He made everyone he met feel special. He respected every person he met. He cared deeply for those less fortunate and aided with his energy, his wisdom, and even his economic support. He took care of all. Though not a man firmly committed to a specific religion, his desire to help all mankind and womankind made him a fervent supporter and attendee at his parish church in New Orleans. And they, in return, developed a great love with him in the very short time he lived there. About a year and a half ago, my wife and I went to New Orleans to spend some time with Michael. We went out to dinner to G.W. Finn's, his favorite restaurant. We walked down Bourbon Street afterward, even though it was beginning to rain. The next morning, he picked us up and he took us for a guided tour of the Garden District. And that included a tour of his neighborhood, where he could tell you every single house, who lived there, what they were like, and you got the feeling of the relationship that he had with all of these people. I was pleased that we attended his memorial service, and we got Dr. Flinders and Eileen and Bobby got to attend and kind of redo those steps. We went to G.W. Finn's, we walked down Bourbon Street, and were able to celebrate kind of his memory in that fashion. Student member of the FNU board said, as a student, it can feel intimidating to serve on the board. Being a novice among experts, I don't know about that, being a novice among experts. In his role as chair, Dr. Carter's affable manner and easy banter were both a comfort and a clear example of our culture of caring. So I don't know if we can do this, but I'd like you to picture this man. He was average build, white hair, always out of place in the back. He had a constant twinkle in his eye and a constant smile on his face. He spoke as rapidly as Dr. Flinders. That conversation must have been unique. With an infectious energy. He was an authoritarian figure, not authoritarian, yet commanding. He was a modest man with absolutely no reason to be modest. On at least 2 occasions, Michael called me before a board meeting, presumably to assess my position on an upcoming important board decision. Then, with his ever-present humor, he proceeded to cajole my opinion to that of his. I had been cleverly manipulated, and I was grateful for it. He was always right. Michael Carter always put others' welfare before his own. Shortly before he passed away, I called him to ask him how he was feeling. Though clearly in the process of losing his battle with prostate cancer, Michael wanted to discuss a health problem I was having. I'm not your doctor, but this is what you should do. And again, he was right. And about a week later, he called me back and he said, he wanted to be sure I was improving. And I think to be sure I was following his advice, which I was. Michael Carter is always compassionate, funny, gentle, respectful, somewhat irreverent, and enormously charming. You may have noted that I've used mostly the present tense when referring to Michael in these few moments. Regardless of our view of an afterlife, we can all agree that people live on in our memories. I love Michael Carter, and I know he will live on in me for my remaining days. I know that he will live on with those of you who knew him, and that is why I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Hopefully, I've offered enough to those of you who never knew him before today to ensconce a little memory of this great person within you. God, please bless Michael Carter for a life extraordinarily well lived. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter. That was a beautiful, beautiful description of Michael Carter. He was a wonderful person, friend, mentor, and partner to me over the years. My name is Susan Stone, and I am President Emeritus and the Distinguished Chair of Midwifery and Nursing at Frontier Nursing University. So I was asked to tell in 5 minutes how we got to where we are today at Frontier, so I'm going to try. So when we ask how Frontier Nursing University became what it is today, we first have to go back 100 years to our founder, Mary Breckenridge. In 1925, she created the Frontier Nursing Service, and the image that we all know so well is nurses on horseback riding into the hills of southeastern Kentucky to care for families who had little access to health care. But behind that iconic image was extraordinary preparation. Mary Breckenridge had studied midwifery in England. She was a public health nurse. She had worked in France and in Scotland. She conducted a careful community health assessment in Kentucky the summer before opening the service. She created both state and local advisories committee to build trust and support. And she insisted on excellence and accountability, gathering data from the very beginning to prove that the outcomes were improving. In 1939, she founded the School of Midwifery. The Family Nurse Practitioner program was added later in response to community needs, and she shared this story with the world through the Quarterly Bulletin, a publication that has now been in print for 100 years. The next major turning point came more than 60 years later in the 1980s, when another visionary woman, Kitty Ernst, looked closely at the shortage of nurse midwives in this country. Too few were being educated, and most were being trained in medical centers, not the rural and community settings where they were most needed. Kitty did what Mary Breckenridge had done before her. She listened. She spoke to hundreds of nurses who told her they would become nurse midwives if only they did not have to uproot their families and relocate for that education. Kitty forged partnerships with the Francis Payne Bolton School of Nursing, the Maternity Center Association, the National Association of Childbearing Centers, and the Frontier School of Midwifery and Family Nursing, our former name now, Frontier Nursing University. Thank you. She secured support from the Pew Foundation, and then she went to work. She created the community-based nurse midwifery education program, a distance learning model that allowed nurses to remain in their own communities while preparing them to serve as nurse midwives. And in 1990, the Frontier Board of Directors adopted the CNAP program as its own. Just like Mary Breckenridge, Kitty insisted on quality. She pushed for accreditation, careful outcome tracking, and excellence at every step. She wanted to prove that this new model of education not only worked, but produced outstanding results. And so, the legacy of Frontier is built on the courage and creativity of two extraordinary women, both innovators, both doers, both committed to demonstrating that nurses and midwives can transform healthcare. Over the past 30 years, Frontier board, faculty, staff, and students have carried this work forward. We've grown our programs, increased our student body. We refined distance education methods, always striving to make them more effective and more personal. We have adapted, whether it was relocating our campus to a better environment or ensuring students could continue their education through the challenges of a global pandemic. And at every step, we have evaluated our outcomes and asked, how can we do better? And that brings us to today. Frontier Nursing University is strong, vibrant, and true to its mission. We stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, and we honor them by continuing their work. Now, as we begin our next chapter, honoring our new president, Dr. Brooke Flinders, welcoming our new dean, Dr. Christian Ashford, and our new chairman of the board, Marcus Osborne, we look to the future with excitement and confidence. Frontier Nursing University has always been about innovation, about meeting needs where they are, and about providing excellent education for nurses so that they can provide healthcare to families and communities that need it most. That was true 100 years ago. It was true when the distance education began, and it remains true today. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Frontier family, friends, and honored guests. We've just heard from Dr. Stone describing Frontier Nursing University's remarkable history and accomplishments. Concepts such as adapt, evolve, and change are part of Frontier's fabric. Our past has woven a beautiful tapestry of dedication and service, of which we are all very proud. Yet, while responding to the demands of our students and the needs of our communities has made change a constant at Frontier, executive leadership has been unusually stable. A tenure as lengthy as Dr. Susan Stone's is uncommon and unique. A significant transition in leadership is accompanied by a myriad of emotions, including fear, anxiety, excitement, and anticipation. Our search committee confirmed that the ideal candidate would honor, respect, and treasure Frontier's past, yet boldly and competently lead the university into the future. When Dr. Brooke Flinders, a Frontier midwifery and Doctor of Nursing Practice program alumna, appeared on campus as a finalist presidential candidate, it was evident that she was prepared and excited to serve as Frontier's next president. She spoke respectfully and affectionately of her student experience at Frontier. She had extensive experience in nursing education and administration and articulated a vision for how she could help write Frontier's next chapter. I was very pleased when she was officially identified as Frontier's next leader. I knew the university, its employees, and students would be in capable hands. While we were very stable, we were also well-positioned and very ready for change. Yet I also knew under her leadership, Frontier would stay true to our core values. It was my privilege to work with Dr. Flinders during her first several months as Frontier's president. Although immediately immersed in leadership and operations, she prioritized spending a large majority of her time just listening. She met with many individuals and groups to learn about the community's values, aspirations, and ideals, which clearly demonstrated her collaborative style. She was approachable and thoughtful and quickly dispelled any anxiety about such a monumental change. She actively examined our past and scrutinized our present and encouraged us to do the same so that we could all agree on our mission and begin to develop a shared vision of who we were to become. For me personally, Dean Emeritus here at Frontier, I was profoundly relieved. Dr. Flinders embodied exactly who I had hoped for in Frontier's new president, and it meant at last I could retire. My one regret was that my opportunity to work with her would be short. Dr. Flinders, thank you for all of your support as your dean, and as we say at Frontier, thank you for answering the call.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to our board members, faculty, staff, students, alumni, friends, and honored guests. My name is Dr. Diane John. I'm an associate professor, faculty, and recently served as the interim dean until we hired Dr. Ashford July 1st, and I'm very happy that she's here. It is a privilege to stand before you today to reflect on the remarkable impact Dr. Flinders has made within the first year as FNU's president. While the role of an academic president is often associated with leadership and administration, the true contributions of a president extend far beyond managing budgets and policies. They shape the very heart, direction, and future of the institution. As interim dean, I had the pleasure of observing Dr. Flinders as a visionary. She has set the tone for the university's mission, guiding and collaborating with purpose and clarity. Dr. Flinders has shared a vision that inspires faculty, staff, and students, ensuring that academic programs not only respond to today's needs, but also anticipate tomorrow's opportunities. Her leadership provides a roadmap to move forward with confidence. I've witnessed strategies and approaches that tell me that she is a bridge builder. Dr. Flinders has worked diligently to support and connect FNU's leaders, faculty, and staff toward a common goal. She has a vision to utilize and extend resources, forging partnerships with healthcare systems, industry leaders, policymakers, and local organizations. Through these relationships, the president has been instrumental in opening doors for our students by ensuring that they have a strong and supportive environment so that they may serve their communities with competence and care. I see Dr. Flinders as a champion of students. Every decision is ultimately centered on creating opportunities for learners to thrive, whether that means expanding access to education, promoting equity and inclusion, or ensuring that students have the support they need to succeed academically and personally. Her commitment ensures that the university is not only a place of knowledge, but also of growth, belonging, and transformation. I see Dr. Flinders as a steward of excellence. She upholds the integrity of academic standards and supports innovative teaching. She fosters an environment of creativity and rigor, and empowers FNU's leaders, faculty, staff, and students to achieve their highest potential. For me, someone who has spent 13 years at FNU and recently retired, I see Dr. Flinders as a symbol of hope and progress. In times of uncertainty, whether economic, social, or global, she reminds us of the power of education to transform lives. She carries the responsibility of preserving the legacy of the university while guiding it toward a stronger and more impactful future. In summary, the attributes, qualities, expertise, and effective communication of Dr. Brooke Flinders goes far beyond the walls of her office. She inspires vision, strengthens connections, and uplifts the FNU community to safeguard excellence and embody hope. While serving as interim dean, I recognize not just the role, but the remarkable contributions of Dr. Flinders, a leader who dedicated time, support, wisdom, and so much more to advancing knowledge, supporting communities, and shaping a better tomorrow through the power of education. Dr. Flinders, thank you for your support as I serve as interim dean.
Hello, everyone. My name's Kathy Bishop Clark, and I was Associate Provost and Dean at Miami University, where President Flinders worked for 18 years. In 1992, I began my career as a faculty member in computer science at Miami University of Ohio. One of my earliest teaching assignments was a course designed for non-computer science majors. And among the many students I encountered, one stood out distinctly. a bright, highly motivated young woman who seemed riveted to every word I said. She was 18 years old, first-generation college student pursuing a degree in nursing, and her name was Brooke. While I do not recall many details of this particular class, I vividly remember Brooke's enthusiasm and intellectual curiosity. Fast forward 15 years. I delivered a keynote workshop to the faculty during our welcome week, and once again, I noticed someone in the audience who seemed fully engaged. She looked familiar. It was the same young woman, Brooke Flinders, now a faculty member herself. I have had the privilege of witnessing President Flinders' remarkable journey from a determined teenage student to president of Frontier University, a journey that spanned more than 3 decades. Today, I would like to share 5 extraordinary leadership characteristics of President Flinders. I could pick classic qualities like integrity and vision and motivational skills and decisiveness and strategic thinking because she possesses all of that. But instead, I will focus on the more humanistic traits that make her an exceptional person and an exceptional leader. Number 1, humble beginnings and an unyielding determination. Dr. Flinders is a first-generation college student. Her mother worked as a fiscal officer, and her dad painted lines on our highways, often overnight and typically in dangerous traffic. Brooke credits her professional success to the upbringing she had and the love and support she received from her parents. Her parents taught her that she mattered, but she didn't matter more than anyone else. That simple life lesson allowed her to be an approachable nurse, a caring nurse-midwife, an effective educator, and an impactful leader. Brooke began her academic journey by earning an associate degree from Miami University's commuter campus at 20 years old. Then, while she was working and raising her children, over a period of 9 years, she completed her bachelor's degree. Immediately after completing her undergraduate studies, she began a master's program at Frontier. In 2016, while Associate Dean at Miami, Brooke went on to pursue a doctorate of nursing practice, also at Frontier. Brooke's humble beginnings and the support of her close-knit family led to her unyielding determination to finish what she starts. Number 2, making the impossible possible. During her 5-year tenure as department chair at Miami, Dr. Flinders achieved what many would consider impossible. She expanded our Bachelor of Nursing program to the main campus, more than doubled student enrollment, launched a Master of Science in Nursing, received approval for a DNP program, oversaw the complete renovation of a nursing hub, and was instrumental in the design of a $96 million clinical health science building. All of this during COVID. She would be wildly successful if she achieved one of those things. Achieving all 5 within 5 years makes it truly extraordinary. Extraordinary characteristic number 3, unwavering positivity. In all the years I have known Brooke, I have never heard her speak negatively about anyone. Not her students, colleagues, faculty, husband, and not even her children when they were teenagers. When faced with challenging situations and people, she chooses to highlight others' strengths. She has an extraordinary ability to see the best and bring out the best in everyone. Number 4, an incredible heart. Dr. Flinders possesses a profound and passionate commitment to her work and the people she works with. This commitment is not merely intellectual, it comes from the heart. I recall receiving a text from Brooke just before delivering a major address to hundreds of faculty and staff. Her message simply read, "Love you." I recall being surprised by the message. Ordinary messages are good luck, break a leg, you got this. Her simple message reminded me the power of authentic communication and reminded me to share my passion and heart during a critical campus address. An extraordinary characteristic number 5, extraordinary yet grounded. Despite her many accomplishments, Brooke Flinders remains refreshingly grounded. She enjoys chocolate, does not eat meat, loves to practice yoga, and adores her dog. She owns a boat that she's afraid to drive. She and her husband, Jason, have raised 3 children and by her own account have done at least 5 million loads of laundry. Brooke and her brother, Ryan, have experienced profound loss, having lost both of their parents too early after extended illnesses. Brooke laughs freely, she cries openly, and she cares deeply. Because Brooke is willing to be vulnerable, she allows her friends and colleagues to be vulnerable. And that is an incredible asset when building a highly functional and productive team. In closing, Frontier University is a place where faculty and staff often navigate complex life circumstances to build extraordinary careers. And this is precisely what President Brooke Flinders has done. She possesses the intelligence, skill set, and work ethic to lead any institution. But her heart has led her to only 2 places, Miami and Frontier. Miami has had Brooke's heart and dedication for 18 years. Now it's Frontier's turn. Congratulations, Frontier University. You have found an extraordinary leader.
My name is Joan Fatma Loy. I'm so honored to have been asked to speak about Dr. Flinders' teaching as part of this momentous occasion. I've known Dr. Flinders for many years, just like Kathy. First as a student in one of the first BSN classes I taught at Miami University, then as a junior faculty member to be mentored, and later a valued and trusted colleague and friend. Dr. Flinders and I believe, as Parker Palmer has asserted, that good teaching is not just about the use of techniques, but is born from the self of the teacher and her integrity. So who is the Brooke Flinders I've come to know in the past 30 years? Dr. Flinders is extraordinarily gifted, that rare combination of a strong intellect, intellectual curiosity, emotional intelligence, highly developed relational skills, and humility. She possesses a grounded passion, tenacity, and resilience. President Flinders sees the potential and possibility in people and in processes, and has the courage to facilitate the development of that potential. Dr. Flinders has what Roshi Joan Halifax refers to as a strong back, soft front. Halifax is speaking about being sturdy but flexible, having confidence that allows for the non-defensiveness, openness, and compassion that characterizes a soft front. This comes about through transparency, not only seeing the world clearly, but also allowing the world to see into us. I would like to share just one example of how these characteristics have been reflected in Dr. Flinders' teaching. Synthesizing her disciplinary knowledge and skills in women's health, research, service learning, collaborative learning methods, and high-impact educational practices, Dr. Flinders developed a partnership model to deliver the Focused Teenage Pregnancy Prevention Program. She was awarded several highly competitive federal grants to fund this program. Dr. Flinders trained undergraduate students as associates and research assistants. These students then collaborated with her in educating their peers in the program, who would then provide the teaching to adolescents in the community. The undergraduates also formed a collaborative leadership team with her, assisting with grant management, evaluation, and scholarly work. Her partnership model also required the development of ongoing healthy community partnerships. Such partnerships require relational trust, gained through empathy, flexibility, constructive conflict resolution, humor, and patience. Again, a strong back and soft front. In applying her understanding of optimal conditions for learning, Dr. Flinders had to summon the courage to do things differently, to break out of and encourage students to break out of frozen roles, frozen by internal and external expectations of, quote, how things are done around here. Brooke empowered students. They felt her belief in their potential and the possible healthier futures that they could help create for others. Brooke modeled for the students how to honor and nurture innovative ideas. She helped the students put on new lenses, understanding that so much of our work in nursing education and practice involves recognition of our own naturally limited perspectives, but never stopping there. Dr. Flinders guided students in eliciting and understanding the perspectives of others, and then finding ways to discover the threads that could connect all of them. In the beautiful book, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, the boy says to the horse, "Sometimes I think you believe in me more than I do." "You'll catch up," says the horse. And the students did catch up. I'll never forget the shared excitement of Brooke and those students when they were ready to leave for their first professional presentation, describing the focus program and results. Implementing the incredibly complex and multi-layered focus program was risky for Brooke to undertake as a junior faculty member. But Dr. Flinders is a visionary teacher and leader, exactly what is needed for addressing health disparities and delivering quality care to underserved and rural populations in these challenging times. She knew, as Max Dupree writes, "By avoiding risk, we really risk what is most important in life, reaching toward growth, our potential, and a true contribution to the common good." I respect and admire Dr. Flinders more than I can say, and here come the tears. She epitomizes the very best of nursing, nursing education, and nursing leadership. We have known one another in different roles and stages of life. I couldn't be more proud or less surprised that she is walking on this stage, in this stage of her life, and delivering remarks as president of Frontier Nursing University. In closing, I offer some words taken from a children's book, Maybe, by Kobe Yamada. I imagine President Flinders speaking these words to all of her fellow nurses, teachers, and learners, past, present, and future. There really is more inside of you than you know, and this world needs your gifts, your talents, your big ideas, and maybe you are just getting started. What if you are only scratching the surface of what you can do and who you can be? Because you are here, anything is possible. Wherever you go, take your hopes, pack your dreams, and never forget. It is on journeys that discoveries are made. Thank you.
It is with tremendous excitement and privilege that I stand before you today, representing the Board of Directors of Frontier Nursing University, as we celebrate the investiture of Dr. Brooke A. Flinders as our new president. Our board is a remarkable group of 17 dedicated individuals, each bringing diverse experiences and perspectives, but united by one shared purpose: ensuring that Frontier Nursing University continues to thrive and fulfill its mission. We are devoted to providing the very best education that shapes nurses into highly skilled, innovative, entrepreneurial, and compassionate nurse midwives and nurse practitioners. Our commitment centers on serving all people, especially those in communities too often overlooked by our health systems, including the rural populations that remain at the heart of FNU's legacy. For more than a century, this mission has propelled Frontier forward. As we look to the next 100 years, our board remains steadfast in our dedication to this cause. I'm reminded of the amazing research done by Clayton Christensen at Harvard Business School. His work transformed the way we think about innovation. He introduced the concept of disruptive innovation, how simpler, more accessible solutions can open up entire markets, profoundly changing the world in the process. Consider how Sam Walton's Walmart revolutionized rural retail, or how Reed Hastings led Netflix in democratizing access to entertainment. In much the same way, I believe Frontier Nursing University stands as a shining example of this kind of innovation. Quietly, yet boldly redefining how we educate and empower future health professionals. That is why I am so exhilarated for Dr. Brooke Flinders' leadership. Her vision, her drive, her commitment to progress will propel FNU to even greater heights, continuing our tradition of positive disruption and impact. So, on behalf of the Board of Directors, many of whom are here with us today, actually here in the front row, it is my honor and joy to formally welcome Dr. Flinders as President of Frontier Nursing University. We look forward with gratitude and anticipation, confident that with your leadership, our mission will continue to grow, inspire, and serve for generations to come. And I get the great honor that Governor Andy Beshear has issued a special acclamation in celebration of Frontier Nursing University. And for this momentous day, I want to share that with you now, and I'll read it to you. To all to whom these presents shall come. Whereas Kentucky celebrates the 100th anniversary of the organization founded as Frontier Nursing University, Frontier Nursing Service, now Frontier Nursing University, honoring its historic impact on healthcare in rural and underserved communities in Eastern Kentucky and throughout the United States today. And whereas Frontier Nursing University is a leader in educating advanced practice nursing professionals with students and graduates in every state of the country, including over 700 graduates to date from Kentucky who are addressing the public health challenges of the Commonwealth. And whereas the university provides a high-quality education that prepares nurses to become competent, entrepreneurial, ethical, and compassionate nurse midwives and nurse practitioners, specifically in areas of maternal health, mental health, women's health, and family health, thereby addressing the social determinants of health in Kentucky and throughout the United States. And whereas Frontier Nursing University's board, faculty, staff help educate and support over 2,700 nurse practitioner and nurse midwifery students yearly who are dedicated to addressing healthcare challenges within their home communities in Kentucky and across the country. And whereas among the more than 11,000 Frontier graduates are advanced practice nursing alumni who obtained nurse midwifery, family nurse practitioner, women's health care and nurse practitioner, psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, and doctor of nursing practice degrees to improve healthcare outcomes for rural and underserved communities throughout the world, and are change leaders in improving health outcomes for all. And whereas the official inauguration of Dr. Brooke A. Flinders as FNU's president on September 26, 2025 marks the beginning of her vision for the future of nursing, healthcare education, and the importance of graduate nursing education to improve healthcare outcomes overall. Now, therefore, I, Andy Beshear, Governor of Commonwealth of Kentucky, do hereby pay tribute to Frontier Nursing University on its 100 years of experience in nurse midwifery and family care.
I feel like I have to apologize for this sun because I've literally been praying for 365 days that it would be a nice day today, not a hurricane, so I apologize. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, students, alumni, community leaders, and friends of Frontier Nursing University. I stand before you today deeply honored and profoundly humbled to be inaugurated as president of this extraordinary institution. I am grateful for the trust you have placed in me, and I pledge to continue to serve with integrity, compassion, and an unwavering commitment to our mission and our vision. To the entire board of directors, thank you for your confidence, guidance, and oversight. I must pause to express my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Michael Carter, former chairman of our board of directors, whose support was instrumental in my selection as president. During my first year at Frontier, Michael generously devoted countless hours to meeting with me, sharing the rich history of FNU, imparting his most valuable words of wisdom, and telling stories that made me laugh until my face hurt. Michael convinced me without much effort that coming to Frontier Nursing University would be one of the best decisions I'd ever made. To Marcus Osborne, chairman of our board, thank you for your leadership, thank you for your service, and thank you for being an advisor and mentor to me. To Dr. Susan Stone, thank you for shaping the remarkable legacy of Frontier Nursing University and for laying a strong foundation that continues to guide us in fulfilling our mission today. I'm deeply grateful for the trust you placed in me to carry that legacy forward, leading Frontier into its next chapter. To Dr. Joni Slager and Dr. Diane John, our former Dean and Interim Dean of Nursing, thank you for seeing to it that I was ready and that we were ready to thrive before you stepped into your own well-deserved retirements. To our faculty and staff, your dedication to excellence and to serving and to supporting our students inspires me and encourages me every day. Thank you for all you do to contribute to the university's success. To the President's Cabinet, thank you for your expertise, your willingness to lead with me side by side, your commitment to kindness and leadership, and your personal support in shaping our shared vision. I am truly grateful to be on this journey with each of you. To Eileen Frazier, my executive assistant, you are exceptionally skilled in your work, of course, but it's your deep compassion, unwavering integrity, genuine love for our work, and the joy you bring to each day that make the difference. You help make every day at FNU a good day for me. To our Frontier students, you are the heart of this university. The impact you will make as caregivers, entrepreneurs, problem solvers, gap fillers, policymakers, educators, and doctorally prepared nurse leaders will bring Frontier's vision to life, individuals, families, and communities. We will advance healthcare equity by expanding access to highly skilled nurse-midwives and advanced practice nurses, and we will do it with the help of all of you, our future graduates. On a personal note, to my mentors, educators, former colleagues, extended family, and dear friends, thank you. I could not know what I know, be who I am, or do what I do without your influence. You've each played a meaningful role in my journey, and I am profoundly grateful. To Dr. Joan Fott-Malloy and Dr. Kathy Bishop-Clark, thank you for walking beside me all these years. The examples you've set, the wisdom you've shared, and the love you've shown are gifts I could never repay. I can only hope to pass them on to those who will come behind me. To my husband, Jason, thank you for believing that I'm capable of anything. When I was given the opportunity to answer Frontier's call in this bold, once-in-a-lifetime way, your bags were already packed. Without hesitation, you eagerly joined me in embracing the welcoming spirit and charm of Woodford County, Kentucky. You did this to support my dreams and to help me fulfill my professional purpose. Finally, to my children, who I may not look at right now, Brody, Ben, and Eleanor, thank you for your incredible patience over so many years. I want you to know that I could never have pursued this work without your love, support, and generous forgiveness for all the times I've been distracted, overworked, or simply overwhelmed. Frontier Nursing Service was founded 100 years ago with a bold and compassionate vision, one that included bringing healthcare to those who needed it most, regardless of hills, hollers, rivers, circumstances, or available resources. Mary Breckenridge's pioneering spirit lives on in every corner of our beautiful new campus and in every graduate who carries our mission into the world. We are also heirs to a legacy of courage, compassion, innovation, and determination created by Kitty Ernst and carried forward by Dr. Susan Stone. We must recommit ourselves to that legacy, yet recognize that the crossroads between higher education and healthcare is different today than it has ever been. We will continue to face our own unique challenges and will navigate them in new and innovative ways. At Frontier, a common mantra for many years has been that it's in every one of us, and I know that it is. One of the most meaningful experiences during my first year as president was participating in an ambitious nationwide presidential tour. In February, our team visited Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. In April, we spent time in Miami, Tampa, and Orlando, before setting sail on our alumni and friends cruise to the Bahamas. In June, we traveled through California, Oregon, and Washington. And in August, we toured New York and Pennsylvania. On every stop of our tour, we met extraordinary students, dedicated preceptors, generous donors, and committed board members. But for me, perhaps the most rewarding aspect of the presidential tour was the opportunity to meet so many of our outstanding alumni, each of whom is making a profound and lasting contribution to the healthcare landscape of our nation during a time of critical need. Their motivation, their expertise, their entrepreneurial spirit, their accomplishments, and their pride in being Frontier graduates left me inspired and deeply hopeful. Our graduates are without question our why at Frontier. Today, Frontier Nursing University proudly boasts a network of more than 11,000 alumni across the nation, with over 1,000 additional graduates joining their ranks each year. Tomorrow, at our 2025 commencement ceremony, we'll be celebrating 1,227 of our newest alumni. If you are among those graduating this year, allow me to be one of the first to extend my heartfelt congratulations. Moving forward as an institution, we'll be guided by shared values as framed by our culture of caring, a living, breathing call to action for how we do our work and how we treat one another. Together, we'll continue to value and exemplify the concepts of professionalism, respect, inclusivity, positive communication, and mutual support. And as we look ahead, beyond the physical and virtual walls of Frontier and beyond the present, we must ask ourselves, what will be the most pressing healthcare needs of tomorrow? How can we at Frontier continue to lead and to innovate? And how can we best continue to serve? As an institution of higher learning focused solely on graduate nursing education, our clear responsibility is to prepare the most capable, compassionate, and forward-thinking advanced practice nurses and certified nurse midwives possible. Our strategic plan will allow us to continue taking steps to meet that charge. Throughout the development of the Frontier 2030 strategic plan, we have thoughtfully incorporated the ideas, feedback, priorities, expertise, and passion of more than 90 individuals, including faculty, staff, students, steering committee members, and members of our board of directors. I'm pleased to introduce the 3 pillars and high-level priorities that will guide our efforts over the next 5 years. Pillar 1, academic excellence, academic and clinical excellence. We will continuously improve and strategically expand academic programs and partnerships to further our mission. Pillar 2, student success. We will focus on access, academic empowerment, retention, and engagement. And Pillar 3, innovation, operational excellence, and strategic positioning. We will advance a dynamic institutional culture that champions innovation, drives operational excellence, and promotes intentional and strategic positioning. In the next frontier, we will be forward-thinking. We must be operationally excellent. We will remain committed to the success of all faculty and staff. We will continue to be unparalleled in the quality of our curriculum and clinical experiences, and we will continually strive to be student-ready. As Frontier's president, I promise to lead with transparency, humility, and courage, and I promise to never lose sight of why we are here. I recognize that today is not just a celebration of a new presidency. It is a celebration of all that Frontier Nursing University stands for. Together, we will honor our past, embrace our present, and shape our future. Let us move forward with purpose, and let us continue to be a beacon of hope, healing, and health. Thank you for entrusting me to be the second president of Frontier Nursing University. It is truly my honor.
Good afternoon. My name is Vicki Burslem, and I'm honored to be speaking here today. I'm one of the Frontier faculty. Dr. Flinders, Board of Directors, faculty and staff, and honored guests. As we prepare to conclude this most special occasion, it's only right that we seal it by invoking a long-standing Frontier tradition, the ringing of the bell. But let's take just a moment to reflect on how traditions help build community. Some are built on a belief or a principle. In Frontier's case, we're guided by our mission and our vision. Others come from memories that are made at symbolic events, like watching fireworks together, or that certain dish that must be on the table every single Thanksgiving. And finally, some traditions are memorialized by an activity, one that reminds the community of its shared sense of belonging and its purpose. With Frontier's 100-year history, many traditions have been embraced through the years, but some that held meaning when Frontier educated only midwives needed to be reframed as our university expanded to include nurse practitioners, so that there was a sense of belonging and everyone felt included in the community. Then there are some that could potentially retain their value, but only if they evolved, just as Frontier has evolved to meet the needs of our current students and the communities they will serve. One example of this is the Thursday evening celebration at each clinical bound. It was held at our campus when we were in Hayden. Students from all the educational tracks would jump on the bus, go over to Wendover, eat together, and then gather in the living room where faculty presented each student with a special token of remembrance. This was followed by having every student share a personal sentiment, emphasis on every student. As you can well imagine, this worked fine when the groups were small, but as our numbers grew, the ability to retain the celebration's meaning was lost. But honoring that rite of passage from didactic to clinical, however, it still remained important. So the special tradition has evolved on our new campus, still with a Thursday evening celebration, but now with each track gathering by itself, celebrating this significant accomplishment in their own unique way, with those peers and faculty who have been in the trenches together throughout their on-campus experience. And that leads us to the ringing of the bell, a tradition that has broadened in its application, but has stood the test of time in its ability to remind us of our shared sense of belonging and our purpose. The origin of this tradition is an apocryphal story with some variations in the telling, but all conveying the same message. As the story goes, when a woman was in labor in the mountains of eastern Kentucky, someone would come fetch the midwife. As she rode off on her horse to attend the birth, the chapel bell was rung, declaring far and wide, she's coming, the midwife is coming." With Frontier's move to Hayden, from Hayden to our current location, a bell was hung in the pavilion to continue this tradition that has retained its relevance. For Frontier students, the ringing of the bell has come to symbolize both a welcoming in and a sending out as they transition in their educational journey. Students attending Frontier Bound for their orientation and onboarding, they ring the bell to welcome them into the Frontier community, joining its shared purpose, and to declare to the world they have arrived and they will be coming soon. When students return to campus for clinical bound, as they prepare to begin their clinical experience, they ring the bell once again, now to declare they are starting to come to address the healthcare needs of their communities. Graduates are encouraged to ring the bell in celebration of their hard-fought goal, now achieved, and they declare far and wide, "I am coming," now well prepared and ready to serve. And so, Dr. Flinders, come here. Today, the bell will be rung by Dr. Tanya Nicholson to both honor you and to welcome you as president of Frontier Nursing University. And we're going to declare far and wide that you are coming, sent on our behalf to share the mission and vision of Frontier's educational community. So let's ring the bell.
Good afternoon. My name is Paula Alexander Delpeche, and I am the Dean of Student Success. Distinguished guests, esteemed faculty, dedicated staff, and proud alumni. As we draw this momentous celebration to a close, I find myself reflecting on what this Investiture truly represents for our institution and our community. Today, we have formally invested President Brooke A. Flinders as the leader of Frontier Nursing University. While she has been serving in this role for a year already, today's ceremony represents the formal recognition of a commitment to Frontier and our shared vision for the future. From my perspective as Dean of Student Success, I have had the privilege of working alongside Brooke throughout this past year and witnessing firsthand the transformational leadership she brings to our institution. Her strategic vision, collaborative approach, and unwavering dedication to operational excellence have strengthened every aspect of our university community. Her collaborative leadership style has created an atmosphere of shared purpose and collective commitment to excellence. President Flinders have demonstrated remarkable skills in identifying opportunities for improvement and implementing meaningful change. Her commitment to streamlining our processes, enhancing student experiences, and supporting faculty development has already positioned us for greater effectiveness and efficiency. Under her leadership, we have seen increased collaboration across departments, enhanced support systems, and renewed focus on strategic planning. Since Brooke has been president, there are two words I hear her use regularly that perfectly capture her leadership style. The first is phenomenal. At least once per week, she uses this word to describe something happening at our university, whether it's our students' achievement, our faculty's dedication, our staff commitment to excellence. The second word is pause. Although I was told that she borrowed that word from me, but it's okay, Brooke, it's okay. Pause is a word that demonstrates her true leadership through careful, cautious decision-making. These two words, phenomenal and pause, truly illustrates who Brooke is as a leader. Someone who recognizes excellence with authentic enthusiasm while approaching decisions with thoughtful deliberation. One area where President Flinders' leadership has been particularly impactful is in our commitment to improving the student experience. What makes President Flinders' approach distinct is her ability to balance innovation with tradition, ensuring that improvement serves our students while honoring the significance of their achievement. Her focus on operational excellence extends throughout the institution, from admissions through graduation, creating a more seamless and meaningful experience for our entire community. As we look to the future, President Flinders has articulated a clear vision which positioned Frontier Nursing University to be a premier institution, known not only for our exceptional nursing education, but also for operational excellence and student-centered service. Her strategic planning and commitment to excellence has set us on a path towards achieving this goal. As we move forward, let us carry with us the energy and optimism of today's celebration. Let us remember that our greatest strength lies in our commitment to serving our students and our communities through strategic thinking and operational excellence. President Flinders, You have the full support of our entire university community. We stand ready to work alongside you in writing the next chapter of Frontier Nursing University's story, a story defined by innovation, excellence, efficiency, and unwavering commitment to the success of all stakeholders. Before I close, I want to offer a special thank you to Brooke's husband, Jason, and their three children, Brody, Ben, and Eleanor, who have selfishly allowed Brooke to be the kind of dedicated leader FNU needs. Beyond every great leader is a family that supports their commitment to service, and we are grateful for your sacrifice and your understanding. As I close out today's ceremony, I want to thank everyone who joined us for this special occasion. May this investiture mark not the formal recognition of our president's leadership, but a renewed commitment from all of us to pursue excellence that makes Frontier Nursing University exceptional. Congratulations, President Flinders. The future of Frontier Nursing University is in excellent hands. Thank you. We welcome each of you to join us at the reception in the tent behind us. Thank you and good evening.
Find your way back there. All right. All right.